So it is FA Cup weekend, FA Cup round 3, and what a start we have got off to. Wrexham first last night, beating Forest in the third round of the FA Cup 3-3, and then Wrexham beat Forest on penalties. It's just the magic of the FA Cup. The FA Cup, you know, it's just such a great tournament. It's just such a great competition. You get stuff like this. Wrexham 3, Forest 3. Obviously, I don't think it would be a bigger shock as, you know, Grimsby beating Man United in the Carabao Cup. Obviously, two different tournaments. But still, it's a shock and it's an upset. It's a Championship team beating a Premier League team. You know, Forest the bottom half of the Premier League. Wrexham bottom half of the Championship, if I'm correct. So, it's still a massive upset. Wrexham beating Forest when Forest are a Premier League team, it's still a massive upset. And, you know, Wrexham have obviously come up from non-league to the Championship in less than 4 seasons, which I think is mental. Oh, God, for God's sake, the lights ran out of battery. But yeah, we'll just wipe that there for now. But yeah, it's just still mental in my opinion that Wrexham have come up from the National League to the Championship in 4 seasons. Yeah, I get that they've got Hollywood actors for owners. You know, their owner is literally Deadpool. So, you know, but still, it's a big upset. It's the FA Cup. Like, the FA Cup is just so good. Maybe not as good as what it used to be, but it still brings upsets like this. But today, the biggest upset possibly in the FA Cup for the last 5-6 years. Macclesfield Town 2. Crystal Palace 1. Wow, what an upset. Let's talk about this. What an upset. Macclesfield have beaten Crystal Palace in the FA Cup. This is enormous. This is absolutely enormous. Now, you can say whatever you want. You can say, Crystal Palace, they've not been too good this season. You know, Crystal Palace, they didn't put out a great team. But Crystal Palace are the holders of the FA Cup. Macclesfield are 14th in the National League North. So you can say whatever you want about Crystal Palace, but this is massive for Macclesfield. This is bloody enormous. Macclesfield 2, Crystal Palace 1. There's 4 leagues in the English pyramid that separate these two football clubs. 4 divisions, 4 separate divisions that separate these two clubs. 4 divisions. Macclesfield are 14th in the National League North. Crystal Palace are mid-table Premier League. Mid-table Premier League have lost to mid-table National League North. It's just mental, isn't it? Like, it's just mental that a team that is 14th in the National League North has beaten mid-table Crystal Palace, who are the current holders of the FA Cup. They're the current holders of the FA Cup. Macclesfield have beaten the current holders of the FA Cup. This is enormous. Like, 2-1. It's crazy. It's absolutely mental. I don't think we're going to get a bigger upset than this the whole weekend, to be honest. Obviously, Wrexham 3, Forest 3 is a upset, but it's nowhere near the magnitude of this. Crystal Palace are mid-table Premier League. Macclesfield are mid-table National League North. You're not going to get a bigger upset than this weekend. You're just not going to get a bigger upset than this. It's just not going to happen. I mean, I could chew my words on Monday night, but you all know what's happening on Monday night. Liverpool versus Barnsley, so I could end up chewing my words. But that's still one. Would that be as big an upset as this? I don't know, because Macclesfield are in the National League. Barnsley are in League One. So, I think it would still be a big upset, to be fair, because Barnsley aren't that good compared to Liverpool, who are the current holders of the Premier League. So, I think that would maybe be a bigger upset than this, but I don't know. Comment what you think. But Macclesfield, anyway, they've beaten Crystal Palace in the FA Cup. And people saying that Crystal Palace didn't play, a good team. They played the second string team. They played Adam Wharton, Yeremy Pino, Mark Gahey, Devaney, Borna Souza, JD Canvo, Uche and Richards. That's like that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 players who you normally get in the first team. That should have been enough to beat a 14th place non-league side. That should have been enough. Considering they're the current holders of the FA Cup, that should have been enough to beat Macclesfield. That should have been enough to beat Macclesfield. And they didn't. So they've only got themselves to blame. Considering Crystal Palace are the current holders of the FA Cup, this team should have been enough to beat Macclesfield Town. There's no excuses here. This team should have been enough to beat Macclesfield Town. And they didn't beat them. It's just, just some fans just need to give Macclesfield their credit because they've beaten the current holders of the FA Cup and a team that are 4 divisions separate from them. Just give Macclesfield the credit. There's no need to say, they didn't play a great team, Crystal Palace. So, like Mark Goldbridge said, they played a second string. It doesn't matter. They didn't even play a second string team. They had Adam Wharton, Yeremy Pino, Mark Goldbridge, Devaney Souza, Canvo, Uche and Richards playing in this team. Did I say Gahey? Him as well, yeah. That should have been enough to beat Macclesfield and it wasn't. So, just give Macclesfield Town the credit. Brennan Johnson was also subbed off as well. That's what I was going to say before the camera cut. But Brennan Johnson, their new signing, was also going to, he was also subbed on. That should have been enough to beat Macclesfield. And they didn't. So, poor Crystal Palace. We've got to first give credit. We've got to give credit to Paul Dawson and Isaac Buckley Ricketts. Ricketts. I apologise if I pronounced that wrong. They both scored the goals to get Macclesfield to the round 4 of the FA Cup. And what a moment for these two lads. What a moment. Captain of the team, Paul Dawson, and obviously Isaac Buckley Ricketts. What a moment for both players. Scoring the goals, especially for Isaac Buckley Ricketts, who did score the second goal. What a moment that must have been for both players, because they play National League football. They're playing teams like Chester, South Shields, Telford every week. Obviously, respectfully, no disrespect at all. But it's the golfing quality is quite big. As I've mentioned a couple of times, there's 4 divisions that separate Crystal Palace. No, there's actually 5 divisions that separate both teams. So it must have been... What a moment it must have been for these two lads. What a moment it must have been. What a moment. That they should give themselves a pat on the back. What a moment for these two lads. I can guarantee you they will not get over this for a long time. They've beaten Crystal... This isn't some, light achievement. This is a big achievement. A non-league side has beaten a Premier League side in the FA Cup. It's a big, big thing. Both lads, you should be hanging your, you should come out with your heads held high, because this is a great achievement. Hang your heads high, because this is absolutely brilliant. This is just a great moment, isn't it? This is just a brilliant moment. Absolutely brilliant. What a moment for both lads. What a moment. It's just great to see stuff like this in the FA Cup, isn't it? A National League team beating the Premier League side, who are the current holders of the FA Cup. It just is, isn't it? Yeah, it's absolutely extraordinary. I hope to see more of this come this FA Cup weekend. But yeah, the no excuses from Crystal Palace. as this should have been enough to beat Macclesfield Town. So, these lads should go out of that stadium with their heads held high, because that is amazing. Wow. It's just absolutely amazing. Like, the last big FA Cup upset was obviously last season when Plymouth beat Liverpool 1-0. No one saw that coming. Again, we had the team to beat Plymouth and we didn't do it. We played poorly against rock bottom of the Championship. Like, they were 20. They got relegated to League One, by the way, that season, and we lost 1-0 to them. We've only got ourselves to blame for that poor performance and result. Like, we bear in mind last season we won the league, so we've got no excuses for that game. Obviously, that is in the past now, and I hope never to speak of it ever again after this video. But yeah, it's these giant killing games like Plymouth Liverpool that really do, bring the magic of the FA Cup. And this Plymouth Liverpool result was an example of that. And this result as well, Macclesfield 2, you're not going to see this for a long time. Obviously, Maidstone United did well in the FA Cup a couple of seasons ago. But this is just extraordinary. This is just extraordinary. It just is. It just is. But yeah, it is FA Cup weekend. We all love FA Cup weekend. It's absolutely amazing. We just do love FA Cup weekend, and it's absolutely amazing. It is just the best thing on a weekend. FA Cup football might not be the same now as what it used to be, but it still brings you upsets like this one. And I just don't want to hear any excuses from Palace, because they had the team to beat Macclesfield. They lost 2-1, and that's their own fault. They played a decent team. Adam Wharton, Jeremy Pino, Mark Gahey, Devaney, Borna Souza, JD Canvo, Uche and Richards. That's decent enough to beat Macclesfield. And if it's not, then, it can't really say anything. That's good enough to beat Macclesfield Town, who were 14th in non-league. But I'm not going to spend my time, telling Crystal Palace what team they should have played against this National League North side. But let's just give credit to Macclesfield Town, because this is a great result for them. This is just a great result for them. But yeah, if you enjoyed that video, you know what to do, which means like, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and I'll see you lovely on this one. Please take care of your people yourselves, and as always, peace out.